please, I need someone, please. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna freak out. Like, please, tell me he's alive and in the hospital bed.
This woman isn't aware she killed her boyfriend just moments ago, but in 10 seconds, she will have a mental breakdown as she realizes it.
There was a knife in a sink in the bathroom. Where did all the blood come from, Stephanie?
I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
Andrew is no longer with us. And there's a reason why that happened, but we don't know that reason yet.
Oh.
Still in the state of panic, she starts recounting the horrific events of the last night.
He pulled out a knife and got me.
And detectives find out all the disturbing secrets that led to this horror story.
Grabbed me and then took out his gun.
Possession of demonic entity.
I've never in my life seen bruises like that, ever.
And I ran, screaming. I just was there, I was in shock.
You have bruises on your face, on your arm, on your body. I can see them, Steph.
It is May 8th, 2014. A few hours past midnight, 11-year-old Angelina Fernandes is sleeping when, all of a sudden, a loud door slam wakes her up.
I walked down and I saw my mom and the neighbors in the house. And I'm like, what is going on?
As her heart races, she can hear her mom screaming from the outside.
My mom was in distress and she was crying.
Her father-in-law, Andrew Wagner, appears unresponsive.
It was shock, like I didn't even know what to think. I just remember blood, footprints, just blood everywhere.
The police quickly take Angelina to the relative's house, and paramedics take Andy to the hospital. Angelina's mom, Stephanie, is immediately taken to the police station, where she's interrogated for almost 3 hours.
Please, I need someone, please. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna freak out. Like,
There was a knife in a sink in the bathroom. There's only 2 people in the house, and we can only talk to one of them. Where did all the blood come from, Stephanie?
This is Andrew's blood. Please.
All right, we're gonna go check, okay?
You know, please, tell me he's alive and in the hospital bed. I don't know what's gonna happen. Please tell me if he's okay. No.
Before we get started.
This is like a nightmare. I walk at night.
I know this is a traumatic night, okay?
No, please tell me if he's okay.
Okay?
Oh, please tell me if he's okay. Please,
what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read you.
Stephanie was interviewed for a whole 3 hours.
I can't even talk. Like, he's my life. It doesn't even matter. Like, I love him so much in her. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna freak out. Like, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. And if anything bad happened to my family, no, please don't tell me. I know I look psycho. Please.
Stephanie, just for right now, I just want to get some basic information.
Okay.
The detectives started questioning Stephanie.
Before we talk about the incident that occurred tonight, I have to read you your rights. Okay? You have the right to use a telephone to contact an attorney. Do you understand this right, Stephanie? Right now, we can't talk to Andrew. I can talk to you. Okay?
Why can't you talk to him?
Because he doesn't talk.
Officers decided to tell Stephanie that Andrew is in the hospital.
Well, something did happen. You're covered in blood.
No. Oh, yeah.
Well, you have a lot of blood on you. And that's, I would assume that's Andrew's blood?
Yes, this is Andrew's blood.
Look at the bruises on you. Okay? And they're not old.
Tell me he's okay.
And they're not.
Stephanie went to change her clothes, and when she came back, detectives told her that Andrew Wagner is dead.
Andrew is no longer with us. And there's a reason why that happened, but we don't know that reason yet.
Oh.
She began speaking about what happened that night.
What happened was we got into an altercation and he was hitting me. And that's what happened. And he pulled out a knife and gun. He started like choking me and hitting me and stuff.
An autopsy later revealed that Andrew was stabbed in the neck that night.
I can't believe that.
You have bruises on your face, on your arm, on your body. I can see them, Steph.
But how did it come down to this incident in the first place? Just 5 years before this tragic incident, Stephanie was working at a Massachusetts nightclub where she worked as an exotic dancer. It wasn't a job she dreamed of, but she had to take care of her daughter, Angelina. Stephanie, a single mom, found herself in a tough spot after parting ways with Angelina's father. Although she didn't really like the job, it was paying well, and it was all that mattered at the moment. On one particular night in 2009, her eyes met with a new guy at the club. She was dancing on the stage, and the guy immediately felt interested in Stephanie.
I was on stage and he was there. We just started talking and talked for like an hour.
From the moment she laid eyes on him, she felt a connection. There was an undeniable pull, a desire to be close to him. It wasn't just a business transaction. She saw him differently. In her mind, he wasn't just another customer. He was someone she found attractive, someone she wanted to get to know. Soon, they started dating, and Stephanie seemed to love the attention Andy was giving her.
I thought, oh, he's just into me. He just really likes me.
However, as time went on, their relationship became obsessive.
A lot of alarms went off whenever Steph met Andy. The alarms that she couldn't hear. He was completely possessive right from the beginning. Andy was calling her nonstop, messaging her.
Despite the red flags in their relationship, they soon started living together in Worcester, Massachusetts. Andy quickly became aggressive.
I've never in my life seen bruises like that, ever. And I don't even want to think of what she went through to get those bruises. We were covering it with makeup. When she had the bruising down there was nothing you could do to cover it.
As soon as the two of them started living together, Andy requested Stephanie to stop dancing at the club. There was no way his girlfriend was going to be dancing at the club, enjoying the attention of other guys. After some thinking, Stephanie decided to stop working at the club. But the aggression in the relationship didn't stop. Andy choked, slapped, and beat her on multiple occasions. There is also proof of this. She took some pictures of her face filled with bruises in 2010.
He's hit me in my head and my face. He's choked me. Body shots all over the place. My mouth, my eyes, everywhere.
However, she never decided to report him for abuse. She feared that a restraining order would make Andy even more aggressive.
I was told that bullets can go through paper. It would mean nothing with a restraining order. He would get to me way quicker than the cops would, and I would die if I left him.
Despite their rocky relationship, Stephanie and Andy got engaged back in 2012. Soon after, Andy took on a job as a corrections officer. They bought a condo together, and from the outside, they painted a picture of a perfect family. Although Andy was the one showing physical violence, Stephanie admits that she also played a role in their violent relationship. She was the one showing psychological aggression. Sometimes, she would tease him with provocative texts, just to get on his nerves.
I'm gonna F your best friend. You should kill yourself. Hope a car falls on you. I admit I'm flawed. Yeah, I can get upset.
Besides the texts, Andy would also get frustrated if she wore any sexy outfit that could attract attention from other guys. On one specific occasion, after wearing a provocative outfit, he seized her, pushing her onto the bed and tearing off her clothes. Pulling out his firearm, he ensured she saw the loaded bullets, then forcefully shoved it down her throat.
When he was mad, he'd turn into a different person. His whole face would get red. His pupils would dilate. It was like possession of demonic entity.
After an incident involving her mother and Andy, Stephanie decided she had enough of his behavior. Feeling the need for a fresh start, she left Andrew in 2013 and rekindled her romance with an old boyfriend, Mike Laramie. Interestingly enough, both men knew very well of each other. While Andy was the aggressor, Mike was the complete opposite. He shoved Stephanie with love and treated her much better than Andy.
He spoiled me in every way. He would carry me into bed if I fell asleep on the couch.
Only a couple of months after the two of them started dating, Mike proposed to her, and she said yes. However, there was just one problem. She was still engaged to Andy as well. This and a couple of other arguments caused Mike to break off the engagement proposal. After the breakup, Stephanie got back with Andy. It was mostly because of the fear that she believed Andy would be angry at her if she didn't come back to him. When Stephanie returned, the cycle of abuse restarted. Only 3 days before he died, Andy sent her a text, claiming he was going to kill her, but she wasn't prepared for what would happen just 3 days later. It was May 7th, 2014. Upstairs, Angelina laid in bed, oblivious to the storm brewing downstairs. Meanwhile, Stephanie, busy in the kitchen, was suddenly thrust into a heated exchange as Andy confronted her about her activities during his absence at work.
And that's what started the questions. What have I been doing all week? Things like that just escalated.
She claims Andy wanted to have sex, but Stephanie declined. And that's when things went downhill.
He was punching me in the head, trying to pin me down, trying to remove my pants. I was in fear of my life. I was trying to get away.
In the midst of the chaos, as Andy was pushing her, Stephanie claims she took a kitchen knife, holding it in her hand, just trying to scare him away. However, just seconds later, it soon ended Andy's life.
It just was so quick. He just charged at me, went to headbutt me as he always would do.
Stephanie claims she was screaming at him to get away as he was coming up to her. She expected Andy to back away once she pointed a knife at him. However, he only became angrier and rushed at her. As he went on to grab her hand in which she was holding a knife, she claims she unintentionally stabbed him in the neck.
That's when I'm like, stay away from me. Stay away from me, as he's screaming, I'm gonna kill you. He's on the other side and he goes to grab my hand and it must have nicked his neck, the 1.5 or 2.5 inch, whatever it was.
Though she doesn't deny killing him that night, she claims it was all done for the purpose of self-defense.
My actions led to him dying. They did. But I didn't make a decision to take his life. I did not want that to happen. But if it wasn't him, that would have been me in the ground.
After almost 3 hours of interrogation after the incident on May 7th, 2014, Stephanie Fernandes was charged with the murder of Andrew Wagner. As she remained in custody, the prosecutors were building a case against her. Despite the case being ready for trial, procedural disputes and the COVID pandemic caused delays in the trial. Stephanie has been confined to her home for those years, monitored by an ankle bracelet. Then, in June 2022, after 8 long years since Andrew Wagner's death, Stephanie Fernandes finally faced trial for murder. As the tension in the courtroom was building up, prosecutor Terry McLaughlin stepped up. During the opening statement, he unveiled a chilling narrative. Stephanie Fernandes fatally stabbed her fiancé, Andrew Wagner, severing an artery. He also highlighted Stephanie's conflicting accounts of the event. She claimed, "He was waving a gun around, so I stabbed him." Yet, to a neighbor, she alleged, "He hit me, so I hit him." Stephanie was portrayed as a volatile aggressor consumed by fits of rage. On the other side, the defense team claimed Stephanie was genuinely worried for her life and stabbed him only to defend herself. When Andy's friend stepped to the stand, he said he witnessed Stephanie hitting Andy on multiple occasions.
She very precisely struck him in the face and the head with the closed fist.
When Stephanie was asked about this, she claimed she hit only once, in self-defense.
No, I hit Andy once. He punched me in the head. I punched him back.
Following this, Stephanie's ex-fiancé, Mike Laramie, testified.
All of a sudden I heard a ching of a knife coming out of the butcher block, and I came inside and I hit it out of her hand. She went to my dining room table and she was gonna carve it up. And I was afraid for my life. I grabbed the chair and I wasn't gonna let her come near me with it. And she stabbed the chair with it like 3 or 4 times.
After this happened, what, if anything, did you do?
I grabbed all the knives and I got rid of them.
The things that, like, Mike Laramie said are not true.
After all the witnesses testified, it was now time for Stephanie to take the stand. As she stepped up, her defense team was ready to lead her through the events of that night.
We tried being intimate.
That morning?
Yes.
Okay. And did it happen?
No.
She recounts how Andy got mad when she teased him. Just as she got up and headed to the bathroom, she made fun of him. Suddenly, he stormed in and hit her repeatedly.
Hit me in the head with the gun, choked me, and he wanted... Somehow we were on the floor, and I was crying, and I ended up getting away, and I ran, screaming, in a way, like, don't come near me, don't come near me. And he was screaming, I'm gonna kill you, you. When I ran and I kept on saying, don't come near me, don't come near me.
Did he listen to you when you said that? Or did he keep coming near you?
It happened so quick where I ran to the kitchen. I picked up a knife and held it and said, don't, like screaming anyways the whole time, don't come near me, don't come near me. Andy ran right to me and said, give me the knife, you and put his hand on my throat and grabbed my hand and it went to headbutt me. And he went, Steph, I think I got stabbed. I just stood there, I was in shock. I think we both were in shock.
After Stephanie Fernandes testified, sharing her side of the story, it was now the prosecutor's turn to question her. Assistant Julianne Carcasinas focused on Stephanie's past relationships with men, probing for inconsistencies. He found it strange how she accepted a proposal from Mike Laramie, while still being engaged to Andrew Wagner.
You claim that you were a loyal woman. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Now, were you loyal to Andy when you cheated on him with Mike? Yes or no?
I didn't cheat on him.
The next day, Stephanie took the stand again, facing the prosecutor's relentless questioning about the events leading to Andy's death. Stephanie recounted numerous times Andy choked her on May 7th, 2014. She also mentioned a fight near the sofa at the house that evening. However, the prosecutors claim the photos of the crime scene reveal no evidence of such a struggle.
How was he choking you on the couch?
It all happened so quick.
Following this, the prosecutors pushed on with the questions, pointing out that Stephanie doesn't have an exact memory of the night of the murder. She claimed there were certain parts of the night she didn't really have memories of. At last, the prosecutors started doubting Stephanie's honesty, especially her stories about being scared of Andy Wagner her whole life. It didn't make sense that someone, fearing for her life, would have been sending messages of threat, such as, I hope a car falls on you, and I'm going to kill you. She even sent Andy a video where she performed oral satisfaction on Mike Laramie.
Were you afraid of Andy Wagner when you told him he was stupid?
Yes.
Were you in fear of Mr. Wagner when you said to him, I hope a car falls on you?
No.
And were you in fear of Mr. Wagner when you sent him a photograph of yourself performing sex on Michael Laramie? Yes or no, ma'am?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right.
Experts on domestic violence were brought in by both parties to speak with Stephanie. Carol Ball, testifying for the defense, highlighted how Andrew Wagner's increasing verbal threats and physical abuse had caused Stephanie to develop post-traumatic stress disorder. She thought she was trapped in a constant cycle of abuse, from which she couldn't break out. The defense thought this case would boil down to whether the jury believed Stephanie meant to kill Andrew Wagner. The medical examiner's testimony didn't provide a clear answer. He couldn't say for sure that this wasn't an accident. In the end, after 10 days of testimony, it was finally time for the defense to make their closing statements.
She picked up a knife and said, Andy, stay away, stay away. He didn't. This time, for whatever reason, it was too much. And the prosecution hasn't proved that this wasn't an accident, and they have not proved that it wasn't in self-defense. What the prosecution hasn't proved is that Stephanie Fernandes is a murderer.
On the other side, the prosecutors thought otherwise.
She's the aggressor. She's the one with the temper. She's the one with the mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, I would suggest to you that this is first-degree murder, premeditated and planned. She got him from the side, or she got him from the back, from behind. She grabs the knife, and she stabs him when he's not looking or he's not ready for it.
After weighing the evidence for around 9 hours, the jury finally came to a decision: guilty of a lesser offense, voluntary manslaughter. This means the convict could face a maximum of 20 years behind bars. The jury came to the conclusion that they were both trapped in a vicious cycle of a toxic relationship. While Andy was the one showing physical violence, Stephanie was the psychological abuser. Another main point was that the knife went in from the front. The medical reports also showed that the angle was downward, Shane Bernard, and that she had actually had a stabbing motion. So that, in a sense, was what ruled out self-defense. Just before the sentencing, Andrew Wagner's family had their chance to address the woman they believed had killed their loved one.
My name is Jillian Cristaldi. I'm the sister of Andrew. My parents and I have waited to speak, to have a voice, to give my brother a voice, and to get him the justice that he deserves. To clear his name from the blatant lies that have been spewed from Stephanie Fernandes and her attorney's mouths for over 8 years. When you look at Stephanie Fernandes, you are looking at a face of evil, of someone who gives no consideration for her actions, who is incapable of love, and has shown no remorse or guilt for killing my brother.
After the family's speech, it was finally time for the judge to make a final conviction.
I sentenced Stephanie Fernandes to a term of not more than 10 years and not less than 8 years in state prison.
Although Stephanie bears the consequences of the night of May 8th, 2014, she says she still loves Andy and believes the incident could have been avoided.
I do. I know it bothers a lot of people. I will always love him. Maybe the night wouldn't have happened if I got him help, if I got us counseling, if I got him therapy.
Although young Angelina believes her mother to be innocent, she expresses remorse to the victim's family. She can't wait for the day her mother gets out of prison.
When she's out of jail, she'll be able to see all of my successes, and she'll be able to see everything that I've accomplished. I want to accomplish all of my dreams so my mom can experience the happiness afterwards.